Hi ninjas, and welcome to another visual guide of Sekiro. You have returned once more to the Hirata estate to see what happened in another perspective, and this time you face off a harder and crueler version of the area. If you are unaware on how to access this area, then click the video in the card in the corner or click the link in the description of this video. Also, if the area itself proves challenging, I have another video to help you navigate through the area and clear out the obstacles that lay in your path. As you have cleared the path past the bandits, the shinobi hunters, and the interior ministry ninjas, you finally get to the hidden temple where you fought Lady Butterfly, but instead of her, you see him standing in the middle of this room, the one who stabbed and killed you that day 3 years ago. From a distance you can talk to him, which initiates the combat, but in the first encounter you can also get a free shot and a head start against him with a strong attack like the Mortal Draw.
戦場で拾った飢えた狼がよもやここまでになるとはな。
This is a visual guide on how to defeat Owl Father. Your foster father is back, in a way, for seconds, and in this memory you face him at his prime. He has basically the same fundamental as he had on the top of Ashina Castle, but a lot new moves and tricks and a lot of aggression. Most of the moves he uses are the same, so if you want more in-depth moves of the ones that are in both fights, check out my guide of the Great Shinobi Owl fight, linked in the top corner and in the description below. I will first quickly go through the old ones, then changes, and finally the new moves. Firstly, I'm glad to inform that Owl does not have the Kinyaku bomb or the smoke bomb in this fight at all, so you're safe to peel away without that pesky debuff. He has the same basic attack combo as in the first fight and the same type that you use, starting with the left side downwards diagonal slash, a right side upwards diagonal slash, and then a quick spinning double slash. But this time the combo is split into two that he uses in separate situations, where in the first section is the two starting attacks that he either uses to start a basic attack or as continuation to some combos, and the spinning double slash that he only uses as a combination. The third heavy slash from the first fight is removed. All the other attacks deal high damage, while the spinning slashes each deal moderate damage. Deflect these to the best of your abilities. Whenever Owl is next to you, he might make a small hop and bounce off of you, doing a flip backwards and gaining distance. This does not deal any damage. He also sometimes jumps backwards on its own to gain distance in order to recover his posture. Next we have Owl's continuation attack and counter attacks. He might twirl his sword over his head to his other side and do a wide horizontal attack that deals moderate damage, so be wary after the basic combos are over that he might continue with one or two more attacks. Other counter attacks include a single slash, the double spinning slash, the firecracker combo, and the bouncing hop. Owl has all of his running attacks in this fight as well, with one being an attack where he runs straight forwards with you with his sword in his left side and afterward does an upward swipe attack, which deals high damage. After this, he usually uses the double spinning slash and will continue with new attacks, which we will go through soon. The second run attack is his sideways swipe, where he steps slightly to your right during his run just before he attacks and does a heavy attack that deals moderate damage. Instead of the Kinyaku bomb or even the double spinning slash, he instead uses the basic starting slash, to which he then continues with the firecracker combo familiar from the first fight, which we'll go through soon. Deflect the attacks or dash through the attacks behind him for free direct hits. The last of the dash attacks is his chasing slice, where he throws a single shuriken and immediately dashes next to you with a powerful slash that deals massive damage and might even kill you if you don't have your full vitality. You can either deflect the sword attack or simply dash past through the sword to get behind him for free attacks. Sometimes he jumps backwards while sprinkling firecrackers in front of him that explode after 2 seconds that deal small damage and stagger you. The other one where he has either deflected your attack with his sword in his left side or continue with his own combos, where he starts with a shoulder tackle followed by a sword swing, and then he completes it by first sprinkling firecrackers in front of you and then immediately striking them for an explosive slash that deals massive damage that will most likely kill you if it hits you directly and you are not in full health. To avoid this, deflect the shoulder tackle, the sword slash, and immediately after the second deflect, start charging a stab attack to dash past the firecrackers and interrupt his slash. Another way to avoid the attack is after when you deflect the second attack, start walking towards him for a step or two and then dash past really close to Owl to get behind him to deal a few direct hits. This dashing method works on both sides, so go whichever you prefer. Both of his execution maneuvers are also present in this fight, where if you stagger, he'll spin around and try to stomp on you with his left leg, pinning you down and impaling you with a sword that deals high damage. The other one is the punishment by the most familiar of attacks should you use a stab attack against him when he is ready. This is of course the good old Mikiri counter. If you get caught into it, it will deal massive damage and it might kill you if you do not have full vitality. Now on to the modified attacks and new attacks. A new move he does is when Owl is running towards you, he'll do a zigzag motion with 2 switches, and depending on where he stops is what attack will he'll use next. If he first zigs to your left and then to your right, he'll throw a single shuriken and then use the somersault slam attack that is familiar from the first fight. But if he does the opposite and stops at your left side, he'll use one of his strongest moves, which is none other than the Shadow Rush, where he prepares a perilous thrust attack and charges a long distance at you. If it connects, he'll hit you with high damage and continues with Shadow Fall, which is the continuation of Shadow Rush. In Shadow Fall, Owl jumps into the air above, striking with 2 heavy strikes as well that both deal high damage, and if the whole combo hits you, you will die. And as always, you hear Mikiri counter to negate the Shadow Rush and deal posture damage to him. One new attack is one where he does the sword combo after the zigzag run, or simply on its own. Owl will bring his sword to his left side and do a quick perilous sweep attack and immediately roll past you. Once he's behind you, he'll start charging up a very strong sword slam attack for 2 seconds before he hits it that does massive damage and knocks you down on your face if it hits you. But if you immediately move away to avoid it, he'll interrupt his charge and instead switch to a sideways swipe attack that does high damage, and if you're a bit further away, he'll jump towards you with the slash. To counter this combo, once you recognize that he is about to use the sweep attack, jump straight backwards and stomp on him to deal posture damage and interrupt his combo. However, if you miss this and he proceeds with the charge up, wait up in front of him for 1 second, then walk next to him so he won't change the attack and instead will miss with the slam attack. This will give an opportunity for free direct hits. As you deal with the first death blow, Owl will get even more serious and unleash the animal inside. Quite literally. A spirit owl spawns into the battlefield that flies around and does not do anything in on itself, but rather presents new attack options to Owl himself. First up is the Vanishing. Oftentimes after certain attacks and combos, Owl slowly turns intangible and cannot be hit. At this point, the Spirit Owl does a spin dive past and behind you, and immediately afterwards Owl reappears and does a strong swipe attack that deals high damage. The Spirit Owl might also go upwards, after which Owl will fall down with a slam attack that deals massive damage. To avoid this, you can simply run forward a bit, then turn around after you hear him doing the attack, and then continue the fight. The next attack is the Fire Owl, where once Owl is at a long distance from you, he'll summon the Spirit Owl next to him and raise his left hand. After charging about 3 seconds, the Flaming Owl dashes towards you, and if it hits you, it deals moderate damage. This attack signals a perilous attack and you need to jump over it. However, immediately afterwards, he'll waste no time and use the Shadow Rush afterwards, so be ready to immediately prepare to use the Mikiri counter again. Also, as a small side note, on the second phase, Owl begins to use the same shuriken attack after he bounces off of you that he used in the first fight, so be aware. Now let's look at some tactics and tips. Owl is the master shinobi for a reason, and in this fight he is in his prime. He is a lot more aggressive and combines his strongest moves into a lot more deadly attack combos to press you with an even more relentless assault on you. But to win, you must become the master shinobi in his stead, and that happens when you are even more aggressive than him. He staggers a lot more easier from basic attacks, which may cancel many of his attacks animations, so keep up your attacks a lot, and when you see him trying to dash around you while being next to you, quickly attack him to stagger him a bit. He uses the Firecracker slash combo a lot more in this fight, which you can counter easily by immediately stabbing after deflecting the second attack as shown in the video. Despite being the master shinobi, his weakness is his back, which you can get quite often in this fight for free direct hits. First is when he does his running sideways slash, and you can simply dash through the sword diagonally and get behind him either for 2 normal attacks or a strong stab. The second is the chasing slice, where you need to deflect the shuriken first and immediately dash through the sword the same way as with the previous attack. And third is when Owl does his double shuriken and somersault combo that you can get either behind him or immediately after the attack is over to stab him before he recovers from the animation and Mikiri counters you. If he does his basic attack combo, you can pretty much expect him to use the firecracker combo or the sweep attack, both of which you can easily counter with the given instructions shown earlier. When he's far away, he'll cover your sight by sprinkling firecrackers, but you can catch a glimpse on what attacks he'll continue with, either Shadow Rush or Chasing Slice, so keep your eyes open for the telegraphs that signal his attacks and Mikiri counter him in case of the Shadow Rush. When he does the strong slam attack after the rolling sweep, wait for him to charge up the attack for a small bit, then walk to the side and start attacking. Not too early or he'll switch up to the swiping slash. In the second phase, Owl is a bit more defensive and able to recover his posture a lot more easily, since he vanishes a lot and creates space for himself, and also as he starts to use the Fire Owl as well. If you're at a very long distance when he summons the Spirit Owl by his side, walk a bit forward, jump towards him over the Fire Owl to prepare your position in order to Mikiri counter the upcoming Shadow Rush. Don't panic if he recovers his posture, since you'll get many opportunities to deal damage to him a lot, which will eventually slow his posture recovery a lot. You can always provoke him to attack with shurikens, and if the teleport attack is hard to follow and dodge, you can use the Mist Raven to avoid the attack. Should you need to heal, either wait for Owl to back up a bit and then take distance for yourself, make sure he isn't about to use the Chasing Slice or Shadow Rush, and then heal. In other cases, you can sprint a bit away from him and then heal if you just see him walking menacingly. If you're at a short or medium distance away when you try to heal, he'll instantly try to use the somersault slam attack on you, which you might be able to deflect, but it's risky. Owl has a lot of health and posture, but mostly this fight is easier to resolve by first eating away his HP up to halfway and then starting to max out his posture. With the strategies explained, you'll then deal the second death blow onto the mighty shinobi and finally reverse the roles of the end of the Hirata incident and get your revenge. Congratulations on the victory. You are rewarded with the battle memory of the foster father and the aromatic branch, which is used to gain the second ending known as purification, as you deal the final boss and choose the ending. And now I will show you an example run on how to defeat Owl Father, along with possible mistakes and how to recover from them.
に心地よいものだ。
And with that, we will wrap up with the video. You have now completed the Hiratai State incident once and for all, and you are done with the area, allowing you to access a new ending. I hope this video was of help. Leave a like if it was, subscribe for more, and if you have any questions or comments, let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, stay vigilant, and I'll see you next time!
Fight, fight, fight if you wanna live long! Fight, 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 you gotta stay strong!